it's interesting to see the different types of games that people play. And I've noticed one of the things that a lot of people like to do and that they don't like to do is they like to play the easy games. They like to play games where they have short-term gain and long-term pain. They like to play the games where they get rewarded immediately. And they also like to play the games that finish fast because they don't want to comprehend the long game. They don't want to see the pain. They don't want to deal with the tactical headache that it ensues. Austin, what game are they playing, and what game are y'all playing?
So everybody's heard this this saying before. It's you're playing chess, not checkers, right? But when you begin to have your own business or in the field of entrepreneurship or what have you, you start to realize that you have to play a different game in order to succeed. Most people, they like to play checkers. They like to play Uno. They like to play a different shit that who knows what that was. But they like to play easier games, like you said. And when they do this, it's pretty straightforward. You don't have to really challenge yourself too much, and you don't really have to think too much. But you have to realize that whenever you get into this field, your comprehension, the moves that you have to do and the effects of those moves and how much they could inhibit you or prohibit you in the future, these are all things that you're going to have to start thinking about. It's more than just, hey, I'm going to go up to this person and ask them for this. It's more along the lines of, okay, if I do go up to this person, okay, I have to wear this suit. I'm going to wear this suit with this color because I know that they like this color. And then when I go up to them, I'm going to shake their hand and I'm going to look them in the eye, because when you look someone in the eye, that means that you're showing them a sign of respect and a firm handshake, not just a firm handshake, but also a smile as well. So you can come off as courteous and warm-hearted, but also stern, because you have a stern look in your eyes. And then when you speak, you have to speak with bravado and some confidence to you. And then when you talk about things, you're gonna have to talk about things not just in a, oh, I do this, oh, I do this, no, you're gonna have to say, hey, we have this cigar, we have this, we have this, we have this, these many lines, we have X, Y, and Z, it comes from over here, it comes from over there. All these things that you're gonna have to say, all these things that you have to think about, all these things that you have to be cognizant of when you're doing certain things in business, because it's chess, not checkers. Because though in regular conversations with regular people, they may not analyze these things, or they may not care about these things. But when you're playing chess, not checkers, these people are so perceptive about every little thing, and they're they're wanting to say no in certain instances and give a reason so that they don't support you. So you have to be on your shit with every little fucking thing, and you have to make sure that every little move that you make sets you up for not only the next move, but the move after that, and the move after that, and the move after that. It's like chess. So, Jose, can you break down to them how regular chess players play, how good chess players play, and also how expert chess players play? I believe what's the term that they use? Grandmaster chess players play. There's a difference in their aptitude, correct?
Definitely. Let me look for the 5, or not the 5, but the categories.
Mm-hmm. And I apologize for putting you on the spot.
No, it's perfectly fine.
Firing on all cylinders this morning.
And this is actually an interesting topic. I actually used this reference in a negotiation that we had where a gentleman tried to lecture us on chess. Well, whatever. Let's spitball this. So a shit chess player is going to think 2 to 3 moves in advance. A decent chess player is going to think 5 to 10. A good chess player is going to think 10 to 15. A great chess player is going to think 15 to 20 moves. And a grandmaster is going to think 20 to 30 moves in advance. How can you possibly outpace a grandmaster when you can't even think 1 to 2 or even 5 to 10 moves in advance? It's not possible. Now, this comes as natural to some people, but also difficult to others. This is a skill that fortunately, that was a big truck, fortunately can be trained. This isn't a skill that everybody's born with, although those born with it are definitely blessed. But as the saying goes, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. However, if talent is working hard, run for cover, because you're going to have some serious competition. So all the more reason why you need to upgrade your game. Nothing is lost by increasing your ability to forecast and foreshadow moves on the chessboard, or moves in a negotiation, or moves in a business. Every single time you walk into a room, every single time you talk, every single time you send a message, you're playing chess. Mm-hmm. You have to evaluate what the board looks like and what is your best move. Even if you're fucked, you have to always make the best move. You don't know who's watching, and you don't even always know who your opponent is in this chess game. Because oftentimes, I might be talking to Austin, but Johnny might be watching in our conversation, or Ryan might be in Austin's network and is actively evaluating what we're doing, how we're playing, the progress that we're making, because he's thinking, hey, I know these guys and I want to invest in their company. How do they conduct themselves? He's not asking, he's watching, he's observing. A lot of times, observations are the most important things in chess. It's not always the action, it's the observation and the forecast that you can predict in advance. If you can see the train coming in your direction, then you can avoid it. If you're completely oblivious that there is the existence of a train, and let alone the fact that you're standing on the train tracks and it doesn't register to you that those are train tracks, it's only natural that you get absolutely flattened by the train. And you, my friend, do not deserve to be flattened by a train.
Now, when you're thinking about chess, when you're thinking about life in general, right? So there is this it doesn't happen that much nowadays, but it used to happen a lot, where people would catch gangrene. And when they would have gangrene, if you did not do something to that specific limb that had gangrene, it would spread to the rest of the body, thus ending in your demise because you let it spread throughout your body. So I think you have to think about business like gangrene and chess, of course. But you have to think about it in a sense of, okay, if I have gangrene in my arm, right, and I want to live, I want to continue to do things, I want to continue to flourish, you might have to sacrifice a limb for the betterment of the body. And I feel like with chess and with life and with business in general, you have to, or you may find yourself doing that a good amount. You might have to humble yourself and put yourself in I don't want to say compromising position, but a position that you're not normally used to in order to have more success in the long term. And that's really, I feel like, one of the reasons why most people don't succeed in this or don't want to do this really. It's because they're not willing to cut that limb off for the betterment of the body. They're not willing to sacrifice their queen so that it sets them up in the rest of the game in order for them to get a checkmate. They're not willing to sacrifice short-term pleasures for long-term benefit. And that's why most people lose. But when you're playing chess and when you want to be good at business, you have to get pretty good at doing that. Because initially, especially at the very, very beginning, is going to suck. And you're going to have to sacrifice a lot. And you're going to have to think about 20 moves ahead as opposed to thinking 5 moves ahead. Because when you're thinking 5 moves ahead, the 5 moves that you see may all suck. The 5 moves that you see may all be you losing a pawn or you losing a rook or a knight. That might be the next 5 moves. But the 20 after that could lead you to something where you could potentially win in the long term. You get what I'm saying? So think about what you have to sacrifice right now in order for you to win the big win. Not just a little win every now and then where, you take one of their chess pieces. Because I feel like a lot of people think like that as well. They think, okay, it's all about me taking someone's chess piece. And if I do that, that's great. Of course, that's a little win, but that's not the big win. Because someone who's very experienced at chess knows you might be able to take someone's fucking chess pieces maybe 5 times in a row, or maybe one after the, maybe one, then not, then one, then not, and then so on and so forth. And you can still lose the game because you're playing recklessly and you're thinking about the short-term benefits and not the long-term benefits. It's all about the long term when you get into this space, because short-term success is great. However, if you get $1 million, or like the lottery, if you get $100 million today, probably you're going to lose it within however many fucking years because you don't know how to fucking manage it. You didn't take the fucking time to learn about money and learn how to manage money, which is going to cause you to lose it. You were thinking short term and thinking about, hey, what can I do with this money right now? How can I spend this money right now? And not, hey, how can I make sure that my life or myself, my family, my children, my friends are good for life. You're thinking about the short term. And that's why those people normally end up losing. And that's why they lose all the money that they got in that short term.
And that's why there's this statement, you have to sacrifice the pawn sometimes to win the game.
There you go.
So an expert chess player isn't even fazed about losing pieces.
Right.
They willingly sacrifice them because it plays not into the strategy, but the tactic. And for those of you who are unaware, in life as in war, the tactician always beats the strategist. Strategy is short term. Although strategy is very, very important, strategy is a short-term game. Tactical game is leagues removed from strategy. Strategy helps you accomplish small feats and small victories and small battles, but tactics help you win the war. Tactics help you win the larger games. Now, Austin, have you ever set up a badass domino sequence?
Oh, boy, you don't want to talk about dominoes. Hey, man, you know it. You know it.
Like one of those where you just flick it off the table and then brrrring.
Yeah.
A
long ass
sequence of dominoes where how do you start it though? You always flick one and then
you
it just
flick one.
Bing, 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 bing.
Right.
Now bear with me here. When you set up all the pieces for a masterpiece that falls in line with one flick of the finger or one little tap and everything falls just how you want it, that, my friend, is how you play chess, not checkers. When you're working to set all of the sequence of dominoes up, this person, this negotiation, this price point, this product, whatever it is, everything is slowly playing into place. Imagine building a supply chain and you're setting up the dominoes. You have this person, this logistic, it's getting here at this point in time. This person's picking it up. This is your quality control metric. It's coming here. It's being converted into this and being sent here and here and here. And all you do is you initiate it. Bing, with the flick of cash. Everything falls in line in the most beautifully orchestrated domino sequence. There's no better feeling. Now, Austin, I see you're typing frantically. Do I need to give you a little more time?
No, you don't.
Or are you prepared to just unleash the wrath of Buff Duff?
Unleash the wrath. So I want to harken back to something that you said earlier, which I really liked, which I think most people need to think about. You said that chess players don't get upset when they lose a pawn. And
matter of fact, they give up pawns.
Exactly.
They
and it's
bait you with pawns.
Right. And it's like sacrificing, certain things. Now, why are they able to do that? I would say when most people play a game, they get emotionally attached. They're like, if they play chess, oh, that chess piece is my chess piece. I love that chess piece. I'm going to make sure that I do everything to keep it and maintain it. And then when something happens and it gets taken away, they're upset. However, one, if you're playing chess, if you're playing any game, if you're playing poker especially, that's a tell. If you get upset about these things, it could affect how you play, and it could affect how someone knows how to play you, because you're showing that tell and showing that you're emotional when it comes to certain things. However, real chess players, they don't get emotional because they know that that chess piece or losing that chess piece is a means to an end. It's not the end all be all. It's a step. It's one of the dominoes in the sequence. And it'll knock down one, and it'll knock down the rest, and it'll go until the end. So it's just one of those dominoes falling down. And when you don't have this emotional attachment to things, it allows you to do certain things better. In my opinion, it allows you to play chess better. I'm not saying don't be emotional with your family or things like that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying with certain inanimate objects, you're going to have to treat them like inanimate objects. Sometimes you're going to cherish them, but sometimes you're going to have to realize that at the end of the day, it's an inanimate object, like money. If you're too attached to money and you use money like you're playing checkers, not chess, you're not going to ever get the large amount of money because you're not willing to risk losing it. You're not willing to take the risk of utilizing it for something else that you're maybe not, or the people around you aren't as experienced in. Most people who don't know stocks, especially in our communities, if you and I said when we were younger, hey, we're going to invest in stocks, not saying our parents because our parents know more, but outside, some people in our community were saying, oh, I don't know if you should do that. I don't know if you should put your money in stocks. Isn't that kind of volatile, and whatnot? I don't think that's very risky. I don't know if you should do that or shit. I know I wouldn't do that, right? That's because they have that emotional attachment to their money. They don't want to lose it. However, they'll never be able to gain larger amounts, or they won't have the experience of gaining a larger amount of money via stocks if they never try, because they don't know how to do it and they're scared of losing. And that's something in business where the ones who succeed more often than not are the ones who aren't scared of losing. They realize that, hey, I can sacrifice things like sleep. I can sacrifice things like money. I can sacrifice things like time in order to get the big win. And in my opinion, that's playing chess, not checkers, because a lot of people don't realize how you sacrificing these things for the short term can allow you to have bigger wins in the long term. And once you realize that, and once you realize that these things are pawns that you can move and you can be able to sacrifice, or you can be able to use at your beck and call, once you realize that you can do those things, you'll be able to succeed, because that is playing chess. And when you play chess with those who play checkers, you're thinking way, way further than they are.
Man. The AM Club Podcast.
Signing out.
Mic check. The AM Club Podcast.